right. Good morning, everyone. I'm just going to skip the regular intro. I don't know if the bit is getting long in the tooth, but we're just going to skip it and dive right in. Today, I'm going to just do a little thing. I'm going to rig these cacti so that they have like a nice little bounce feedback when you hit them or bump into them. So I'm just going to make the simplest of simple rigs for these guys. Okay, so and they'll probably both share a rig. So let's just get into it. All right, just do an armature with a single bone. Name it cactus rig. I wish by default that they would make it so that the rig shows on top, but they don't do that by default. So you have to go into viewport display in front. Boom, there we go. So the first bone is going to be the root bone. I rotated it like that so that it is oriented. The bone is oriented with the world coordinates. So this is the local Y coordinate of the bone is pointing in the same as Blender. Off the top of my head, I don't actually know whether this gets messed up when you import it into Unity, because I know that Unity has a different XYZ coordinate layout than Blender does. It's actually very frustrating that it's not. The coordinate systems are all different between engines and 3D software and other applications. Okay, so this bone is going to be called the root bone. I'm going to call this the top level root. And I'm actually going to do 2 root bones, and the reason is because the top level root, the thing at the very tippy top of the rig, should not be altered. That messes up some of the coding. Actually, make the top level root. I'm going to make 2 units tall, and the bottom, the working root bone. I'm going to make 1 unit tall, and the reason I'm exposing like the working level root is because we might do something like you hit it and we're going to rotate it, and so we'll have it so that it kind of can rotate around this bone. Call it the working root. All right, and then from the working root, we will have just a single bone. We can just make that 1 unit tall. And I'll call this bounce. Okay, cool. So the bounce is going to be parented. Okay, bounce is going to be parented to the root bone. Working root is going to be parented to the top level root. So let's go into pose mode, just check all these relationships are working. So that one's fine. That one's fine. That one's fine. Okay, cool. Easy peasy. Okay. Since there's going to be 1-to-1 deformation between the mesh and this bone, we don't have to do weight painting. If we ever make another enemy type, maybe I'll demo weight painting. But since we don't need groups for the weight painting, we just do relative to the bone. So now when the bone scales, the cactus scales also. And we're going to put a constraint on this bone to make it super squashed and stretchy, which is maintain volume. So what maintain volume does, okay, so let's see, the free axis is the y-axis. Okay, so when we scale the y-axis, whoops. Hold on. Is the x and the z? So it was using world space. We want local space. Okay. So now when we oh, it's great. This is my answer. Why are you doing this? What I want it to do is when you scale the Y. Oh, that's why. Okay. I'm still working in global space. Okay, cool. So now when I scale the Y of this bone, it automatically scales the X and the Z so that it maintains its volume, which basically means that it makes your squash and stretch much easier. Cool. Now we're gonna make an action dope sheet, action editor for the bone. I think we're gonna lock off. I think we're gonna lock off rotation, and we're just gonna be messing with scale. And I think if we lock off X and Z, will that break our constraint or not? No, it won't. Okay, cool. So the only value we can play with in our animation is this Y, which is fine. Okay, so new, we're gonna just call this one, I think we're only gonna have one animation on this armature called bounce. Cool. So, let's see, how much do I want to get into this? Let's do... Yeah, let's get our graph editor up. Okay, so on the 0, we're going to keyframe this as the default. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Just boy. Alright. Make sure my animation timing is 30 frames per second. That's fine. Okay, so let's see. The guy's going to roll in and he's going to hit this thing. And the first thing it's going to do is compress. So let's just go forward, let's say 10 frames. And it's going to compress. Maybe how much? How much is that? Let's just make it a clean 75%. Okay. It's going to compress and then it's going to bounce back up. Let's just do this in increments of 10 frames, and then we can massage the timing later. Okay, then it's going to... let's see if we can... Then it's going to bounce up and overshoot, and then bounce back to where it regularly is. But instead of keyframing all of those bounces, let's see if we can like cheat it with some of the... So it goes... Let's see if we can cheat it with some of the interpolation modes. So let's see, handle type, interpolation. So when it goes, we want to do an overshoot, which I think might be elastic. Let's try this. So okay, and then we'll give ourselves some buffer time. So let's end this at 35 frames. Okay, now let's watch it. Yeah, that's a little bit too aggressive. What happens if you delete this? Okay. That's not what we want. And you can combo these, I think, with with your ease in and ease out, and that changes things. Here, hold on. I'm gonna pause this because I know there are cheat sheets for this online. I'm gonna go find one. All right, and we're back. So these, if you're not an animator, which I am not, you might not know, so that there are these easing types, ease in, ease out, in and out. Those are different than interpolation modes. And they combine in interesting ways, and I can never remember what the combinations look like. And so if you just do like a Google search for like ease and interpolation cheat sheets, you'll find something like this, and they are pretty awesome. So what we're looking for is probably something like this, where it goes, yeah, it's an ease out elastic. So it overshoots and then it bounces back. Yeah. So we want ease out elastic. So let's give that a try. So we have the interpolation mode is elastic, and then we need to do easing mode as ease out. Did that do what we think it does? Do this one. Just do this one. Ease out. No, that didn't work. This might be one of those things where it works in Godot one way. Let's reset all of this. So let's do automatic easing, interpolation mode. Let's just do Bezier. So this is kind of what the default is. And then now let's try redoing this. What if we just click this one? Will it change? So I'm like looking at this graph here to see if it's doing the thing I think it's doing. And I've confirmed that it is not. Okay, so easing mode, ease out. And interpolation mode, elastic. Huh. It wants, this is good, but it wants to do this bounce, and I don't want it to do that bounce. I wonder if there's a way that I can edit it to kind of not do that at first. I guess I can always just like smooth it. But really, I want this handle, I want it to kind of, I want the shape to do like a sharp immediate down into this trough and then to bounce back up. There might not be an easy way to... That's cool though. That's like a spring. Boing, boing. That'll be useful for something. Okay, let's check the cheat sheet again. And yeah, see, Blender is kind of giving you a little bit of this. It's like the ease in and out elastic, which we don't quite want. Well, we tried doing this the easy way, and that ended up becoming the hard way. So let's just okay, let's just reset all of this. Okay. So it's gonna come down, and then this one I think should be handle type. This one I think should be free, because once it hits the bottom, it's gonna, oh, this one's free. Handle type free. There we go. Okay, so it's gonna, oh gosh, just spilled a bunch of coffee. Hold on, pause. All right, that was a baby spill. That's not a problem. Okay. Okay, so the, I'm going to move this forward one. So we're going to move sharply and then lower our acceleration as it gets to the bottom. And then we're going to spring back. Okay, this one should be aligned. what my handles are and where my... Yeah, this one. Oh, I haven't done it yet. There we go. Gotta overshoot. Okay, so let's see. We're going to go down. This is going to make it feel springy, I think, this sharpness. That might not be. We might want to make this more smooth, like a sinusoidal. Bounce back and then come down. We might even overshoot a second time and then come down here and then zero this out. Yeah, I think we want this to be aligned. I don't think we want that sharp. We want this to be much faster because it's going to be bouncy. So this might even be like a... How many frames is that? Is that just 2 frames? Okay. This duration is going to be really small too. Okay, like this whole thing's going to be about like a third of a second, so let's just keep tightening it up. Is there a way to like just change all? Oh, I wanna. Does Alt S work for these? No, this one's too big. That one's too big. Yeah. All right. That's not pretty, but it's good enough for today. Okay, so set that to 1, re-keyframe it. Oh, I don't want these. The overshoot's gonna come down a little bit. Let's just check out the timing again. Boing, boing. That's okay. However, the amount of deformation going down is smaller than the overshoot going up, and so I think technically the first, like this first displacement should be greater than the second one. So let's just try bringing this down a little bit. GY, and let's kind of do something like this. Down a little bit. Good enough. All right, that works for me. Let's go to the action editor. Okay, this is called bounce. It's saved. Sweet. And then we'll go back to our layout. Okay, so let's see. Big cactus is already parented. Okay, yeah, so let's just hide this for now. And this, I think we'll be able to do the same thing, right? So we'll do little cactus, parent it to the bone. Cool. And it's got the same bounce. Boing, boing, boing. Sweet. I think that'll be fine. It It might be uncanny when you have like a cluster of cacti like this, if they all bounce at the same rate. That might be weird. But I'm gonna just let it be weird, and if it becomes a problem, I'll fix it later rather than try and get ahead of it now, because you would not believe how much time I've wasted doing that. So, okay, I think we're gonna call it there, and hopefully we'll have some bouncy cactuses to share later. All right, thanks. Have a good day. Okay, 1 day time skip. Sal has put our animations in the game. Boink. So now these cacti, come here. Now when these cacti, you run into them, they have a little bounce. I think it's even when you jump onto them, they bounce too. Boink. Yeah. So there you go. Game dev, everyone. How fun is that? All right, that's it, and I'll see you later.